Hey everyone, it's your boy Cam, and you might notice that this video is lower quality than the brand new camera I just bought. And that is because I'm an idiot and I forgot to get the camera charged. But I'm already a few days behind on this video, so I just gotta put it out. And so we're just gonna have to do with the computer cam for now. So this weekly update has been cats clawing at my door. Hold on a sec. Yeah, there she is. There she is. Alright. Yeah. And it's been pretty active. I got myself signed up for college. I just went to my first few classes this Tuesday, which is currently yesterday, 17 minutes ago. I got a tattoo on Monday. Not last Monday, but the Monday before last Monday. And I would have showed that off on Saturday or Sunday, but I was working and I forgot to show it off. So, there you go. It's from Naruto. Because I'm like the biggest fanboy of Naruto. And it is the curse mark that Orochimaru gives Sasuke. There he is. Gives Sasuke during the Chunin exams. It best describes limits his chakra usage, and when he exceeds a certain level of chakra, it leeches off of him. I can't explain it very well, but that's the gist of it. And I always thought it looked pretty cool, and I said that was going to be my first tattoo for God knows how many years. And hey, I'm 18 now, and I finally lived the dream. It might be a few years before I decide to get another one, because, okay, I won't say that it was the worst pain I've ever had, but it is not pleasant. It's rather painful. I mean, it's a needle going into your back multiple times. Then you have like a fan one that's like a little bit thicker that they use for shading. But it hurts. I mean, depending on your pain tolerance. Cats, stop fighting. I've got 3 cats in here, and 2 of them want to play, but I don't think Bells, who's always here for my videos, wants to play. Let me see if I can show this off a little bit, because this is just plain ridiculous. So there's Chloe up there. It's the first time I've gotten to show her in the video. There's Hermione, jumping around on my bed. Or, that's not my bed. I don't sleep on my TV. Or my cable box that I don't use. No, she's on my cable box. And Bells is behind the camera, so I'll grab her real quick. Because she always needs to make a present in my videos. Look at her. You want to say hi to the people? Nope. Alright, alright. And, yeah. Ooh. I got a juicy story to tell for this week. So, a few days ago, I was working on Saturday, and I was working 9 to 5, so all day. So I couldn't think of like making a video, and I forgot and all that. But more importantly, I knew I was going to make a video on this topic eventually. So last Saturday, I go into work and I get the news that we have a new disher who closed the night before. This dude's name was James, I believe. And I'll give him credit because he's new, but he did terrible job closing. It was ridiculous. And the dude's really slow. He came in that morning at like midnight. Or not midnight. That's not... Cat, I can't focus. The cat's getting in... Look at this. You can't see that because she just dove in, but she went into my sock drawer and then above like the section of the drawer that's actually a drawer. So she's in like a secret cupboard, and I'm gonna have to get her out after this video is over. But yeah. So he came in at like noon, and he went to help the current disher we had on, and I had my own little helper who is a relatively new worker named. Well, maybe I should keep his name private. I don't want like, hey, jeez, cat's trying to eat my poster. Don't eat my poster. All these cats are causing me troubles. This is gonna be a weird video, but for the sake of his privacy, I won't say his name. But this dude was slow. I mean, he didn't do. He was busting his tables at like the slowest possible speed, and I've been told since I've gotten there that you need to pick up the pace. We shouldn't have to tell you to pick up the pace, but we will tell you to pick up the pace if we have to. And yeah, when I wasn't fast, my fellow bussers would tell like the staff, because the staff would always want, or the managers would always want to know why there's so many tables, and they're like, hey, we're having a hard time with Cameron, or we're having a hard time with this person, and yeah, they would come out to me and be like, hey, we got a lot of tables, let's pick it up. Yeah. So this dude, for the sake of the video, I'll name him G. Just a random letter. But G decides like he's gonna go slow. He's not very active. He's kind of weird. He's kind of like thuggish, I guess I could say. He's not like gangster or anything like that. Cat, stop eating my poster. Hold on a sec, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry. She's really eating the poster, and I don't want her to do that. And you have finally come out of the closet drawer. Closet drawer? The sock drawer. But, so, G was moving really slow, and, I've told him before that he needs to pick it up, but dude moves at his space. It's just, man, I'm so confused because of all these cats going off that I'm making random phrases. The dude was moving at his own speed, and it was not fast enough. So, naturally, because that's what I have to do, I have to tell Mark, who's my manager, that like, hey, Grayson, G, um, great. I don't know how to tell you this, Mark, but G is out there, and he's not going fast enough, and I don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, well, give me a sec. I'll go check it out there, and I'll keep an eye on him, because Mark was already in a mood that he wanted things to run smoothly. Like, he had issues with previous employees, so he's kind of on edge. And yeah. So I go back to work. He goes back to work, and I don't notice this, but all of a sudden G is gone. I'm like, that was weird. And Mark comes up to me at like 2 o'clock. He's like, I sent him home. Told him he's not pulling his weight. He needs to go. I'm like, oh, didn't mean for that to happen. But my guess is Mark watched him. He might have said something, but clearly it wasn't working, and that's it. The next day, on Sunday, he comes in again because that's his next shift, and I have that shift as well. So it's the same freaking schedule, and he's just as slow. He's just as slow, if not a little bit worse. And so, at this point, I'm like, I've already told you, Mark's already told you, so I'm not going to try and come up to you and tell you to go faster, because you're not going to listen to me. You're clearly not listening to Mark. And so I tell the other manager who was on that day, Ernie. And Ernie is a get your stuff together. And don't make me ask twice, because I won't ask twice. Barely ask at all. He'll just tell you straight up, if you don't do this, you're gonna get in trouble. And so things are starting to get like slow down. And Ernie comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, how's it going out here?" I'm like, "We're running. I'm having a hard time catching up." And he goes, "Yeah, it's because that other dude, G." And I'm like, "Yeah, he was like this yesterday. I don't know. Is there something we can do?" And he's like, "Nah, I'll figure it out." And so later, I I guess he pulled him aside again, and Ernie has a different way of putting it. Instead of like saying, like, "Hey, we need to pick it up. You're not doing it fast enough, and if you don't pick it up, you leave." No, he goes, "You suck. You're sucking right now, and your fellow employees, your fellow bussers are all agreeing that you're going way too slow and you suck." And he's harsh, but I wasn't there for that part. I got the aftermath where G comes up to me, walks up to me, and goes, "You told the boss I was lazy." I'm like, "No." He goes, "You didn't tell the boss I was lazy." I'm like, "No, I said you were slow." Because I wanted to be honest, and I wasn't trying to offend him. I was like, "Hey, I'm pulling most of the weight out here, dude." And so I'm like, I told him you were moving slow. And so he goes, "If you got a problem with me, you come to me. You don't go to the managers." I'm like, "I did go to you." And he goes, "No, you didn't. You don't." And like, you know, people at the restaurant will push tables together when they want big parties. And this happens frequently. And when you bust those tables, you have to separate them again. So we're trying to catch up. There's a bunch of tables on one section, and there's like a couple tables in the main area, and one of those big tables that's been put together. I decide, because I wanted to see how long it would take him. This was before I asked him, or I asked Ernie to check up on him or something. I gave him that, like, by gave him the table, I mean I didn't do the table and I focused on all the other tables. I got 6 tables done before he finished the table, and he didn't even pull the table apart. It was still like together, and you're not supposed to do that. So that's how slow he was going. If I can bust 6 tables, the amount of times it takes him to bust 3 tables put together, 3 small tables put together, that's not good. And so this came back to me when I like we were talking. He's like, "I bust that entire like big table by myself before you could even make it around the lobby." I was like, in my head, I was like, "You do realize that I was bussing that entire time, right? I was picking up all the other tables." And but I was like, clearly the guy was already mad. Oops, I just broke my fan. I didn't break it. I just knocked it off its hinges so it makes a loud noise. So sorry if that came across. But clearly the dude was mad, and I didn't want to start anything. He seemed like the type of person who would start a fight and be dramatic and be angry, and it was just I didn't want to deal with it. So I said, like, I'm not gonna start anything with you, dude. And he goes, "Start with," like, he starts mumbling, like getting all angry. And Ernie, from clear across this, like, the bathroom hall, goes like, "Guys, get back to work. We don't have time for this. Cameron, come over here." And I'm like, "All right," like, cause I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong, so I have nothing to fear. So I go up to Ernie. I'm like, "What's up?" And he goes, "You messing with you, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's just hassling me." Like, and I like explained everything to him. He's like, and Ernie is kind of like, you keep at one point he's your best friend. And he goofs off and he makes jokes with you. At one point he's your boss. At that point he was my friend, and he was like, "That's just crazy, man," and it was hilarious. And so he goes sits down with his lunch, and one of the other managers goes up to him. I guess they talked about him because he came up to them, and they're all talking blah blah and all that crap, and then something even more ridiculous happens. So we have two bus carts ready, one for him, one for me, and I stopped to go sweep. So I left my cart out in the lobby. G's way of getting back at me, because he's like, he obviously doesn't want to start a fight, because I mean he would definitely get fired, is to passive aggressively, sorry, I got the hiccups and it's hurting me, passive aggressively take the plates out of his bucket, out of his bucket, making extra work for himself and me, and put them all in my cart. I don't even know what that is. Well, I mean, I didn't think people did stupid crap like that. I mean, he filled it up. I mean, everything in his thing was in mine. And so I had to stop sweeping, take it back there. And at this point, I'm not mad. Because I'm like baffled. I've never thought, in a million years, I would see something crazy like that. And it happened. And I go to Ernie, I'm like, this is even crazier. He just put all this stuff into my cart. And Ernie's laughing. He's like, that's just ridiculous, man. But long story short, it didn't. Just because we made jokes out of it doesn't make it any less of a serious issue. And the end result was he got fired. He started another fight with another employee the next freaking day. One of the senior bussers, a dude named Steve, real cool guy. He starts like, and Steve's a 5-year boxer. He's been boxing for like since he was like 12, and he took a break, but he boxed for like 5 years. So he's not buff, but he knows his martial arts. He knows his like, everyone knows this about him. Like, you don't want to start a fight with Steve, because if he really wanted to, which he wouldn't, because he's a cool guy, he could beat the crap out of you. And so, like, Steve naturally defended himself, and none of the managers are going to argue with Steve because he's the best busser, and he never gets this way. So if G truly did something to set Steve off, that means there's something wrong with this dude. And he got fired. He tried to start a fight with me. He tried to start a fight with Steve, and he was slacking on 3 days that I knew. Like, I actually saw him work. I have no words for that. But that's the end of that story. Um, I don't. Did I talk about my college? Um, yeah, I did. I think I started college yesterday on Tuesday, 34 minutes ago. So I have 3 classes, and they last all freaking day. But I get like a 4-hour break in between my second and third classes, which was on Thursday or tomorrow, um, when I have labs. So other, they're not that bad. Teachers aren't that bad, and I bet you this will be pretty fun. I'll keep you guys updated on it, tell you how I'm doing in my studies if you guys want to know. And that's all I can say about that one. Other than that, I think this week has been relatively relaxed. Relaxed. That's the word I use. This week has been relatively active, but not stressful. So that's the best you can ask for. And if you guys like these videos, I'll keep putting them out. I will next time try to use my brand new camera that we bought. If I freaking keep it charged for once. And like, comment, subscribe for more. And as always, what's an outro?